In this video update, we're going to cover Thursday's day trade, which was the 7th win in a row. We'll update the broad markets, Bitcoin, gold, and finish up with a couple of swing trades. So let's start things off with Thursday's day trade. So that was another win. That's the 7th win in a row now. Here you can see the pre-market levels posted. And these are what the levels look like marked up on the chart. So here you can see our two entries hit. We have our average entry in the middle. We've got our scalp profit target, our second and third profit target. Okay, so with this trade, we always position to have three entries, whether it's a short or a long. So here we hit our first entry. We didn't get our scalp profit target, so price continued up, took us underwater a little bit, moved up onto our second entry where price reversed straight away. So we have our average entry right in the middle of our two entries here at 19,570, 19,623. Traders should have added equal positions on the way up and been prepared to add another position, the remainder third, at the third entry. Okay, so price reversed back down. We had our scalp profit at 20 points on the NASDAQ, always 20 points. And at this point, traders should have raised their stops or lowered their stops as it's a short down to entry to protect the remainder of the position. The remaining 2/3 of the position should be exited at the second and third profit target. Here we can see the remainder of the trade. Price came down to the second profit target where traders should have exited another third of their position, leaving 1/3 left, having taken 2/3 profit. So that all occurred within about 10 minutes. Within the remainder of the trade, it took about another, 5, 10, 15 minutes or so for price to come down. So second and third profit targets are usually assessed by looking at previous reaction highs and lows on the chart. They're usually around 50 to 70 points for around the second profit target and around 100 to 150 points for the third profit target. We try and take profit just before the actual reaction highs or lows. So you can see here we've got a reaction high or low around 19,460, which wasn't a trade, but we anticipated price bouncing off of this level, so we wanted to take profit beforehand at 19,475. Okay, so moving on to the broad market and starting off with the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ has had a consolidation week, moving slightly lower. We anticipated price coming down to this 18,900 level, and we got pretty close, about 19,100, where we had divergent low on the hourly chart with the RSI making a higher low and price making a lower low. We posted about this trade with the divergence marked up on the charts with PPO bullish crossover just occurring, RSI divergence, price making a lower low, and we made a call saying we see the signs of a trend change occurring here. Since we made that post, price action has been pretty bullish since. We crossed the moving averages where traders could have taken small profit here depending on the time frame. So depending on traders' time frame and where they wanted to position size, that could have been a nice entry for a more longer term play at this 19,100 level. So we anticipate price to continue upwards, maybe to the top of this range around 19,900, depending on what SPY is looking like. So flicking back to the hourly chart, that would take us all the way back up to this 19,900 level, around 20,000. I think that could be a potential place that you could want to exit some of those swing longs, depending on your time frame, whether you're holding for a more longer term time frame or a swing trade. You know, that's around 1,000 points on the NASDAQ, so that should be a nice profit. Moving on to the broad market or SPY. So this is what the futures chart looks like. It's had more of sideways action than the tech heavy QQQ, and price has been pretty much consolidating all week. We did have this small divergence on the hourly chart on the futures, which we did post about. And since then, the broad market's been moving up, moving sideways, just consolidating in time more so than price. There's not much to report elsewhere. The small caps or IWM have largely gone nowhere for the last few days. Bitcoin is just consolidating under its 200 and 100-day moving averages, so we've had the crossover now. I would expect price to continue to consolidate around here, potentially moving down to 48,600. And gold is looking more interesting. Gold has had a bearish PPO crossover. We can see the start of a red hill starting to form here. So we had a bearish candle on Friday as well to top things off. So gold could get a retracement here. It could be one of these small retracements where we only have mild PPO crossover over here, but even so, that was a fairly big retracement here. So I think we could get a pullback in gold over the next coming weeks down to potentially this 100-day moving average around this 2,400 level. But I would be still bullish on gold at that point, and definitely a buyer around this sort of level. Okay, and let's wrap things up with a couple of swing trades. So Tesla had a new entry around this 210 level. We can see some support with the 200 and 100-day moving averages around this $100 level, and we have support around 180. So I think this is a good place to take some longs on Tesla. We've got resistance around 270 to around 300 level, and previous highs all the way up here around 400. So with Tesla's announcement of their new AI robots, I think this has the potential to get some buyers coming into the market. We've also got previous resistance around this gap around 245. So Tesla's one of the trades I would be happier to hold on a steeper pullback and happier to hold on a more longer term basis. So I would be looking to take a few different profits up here. First one around 270 where I'd be raising stops, and then looking for maybe up into all-time highs depending on how the charts look and what's going on in the news. The next up is Warner Brothers. So we had our profit target hit at 845. Since then, price has pulled back. Price isn't looking particularly favourable at the moment. We could get PPO crossover into bearish territory, and we're sitting under the 100-day moving average. So this price action on Thursday wasn't particularly good for WBD. If your entry's around this sort of place and we've already taken the first profit target, I think it's okay to leave stops around entry, and if we get stopped out on this, that's fine. I think there'll be another trade coming in the next few weeks. So Warner Brothers, small profit on this, not particularly great, but price action isn't looking too great. So see how things go on Monday. If we can get back above this 790 level, it might be okay to hold on to try and get this $9 profit target. But if we don't, I wouldn't be holding WBD below entry. UPS, not much to report there, just sideways action. Same with ALB, broken above this 8750 level and then just consolidating. NUE is looking a little bit better, broken above this 150 level. The next resistance is this downtrend line. If we can get above this, we should be into some profit around 160. SEDG isn't looking great. We could get bearish PPO crossover. We're under the small moving averages with bearish crossover, so not looking great on SEDG. I think this might be one that you want to close for a small loss depending on how Monday and Tuesday's price action looks. Okay, so the longer term trades are all looking good. Amazon's had some bullish price action off of the 200-day moving average. Pfizer's also just consolidating, moving averages crossing over with time, so Pfizer's looking good. Microsoft, strong bounce off its 200-day moving average. Intel had a nice day on Friday up into this 22 resistance level. We need to break above this and then we can start working on the gap up to 29.20. And MJ consolidating after a bearish week.